Hello and welcome to this episode of No Blasters with me, Kieran Bartlett. I'm wearing this absolutely sexual Kiss Kiss Bang Bang t-shirt up your holes. Before we introduce today's guest, let's talk about today's sponsors. As you can see, today's episode is sponsored by Doogie's Goodies. This is the greatest little bakery in God's acre here. So this is the most unbelievable bakery. It's in Church Street in Ballymena. But what's that? It's opening in Fountain Street in Belfast. Oh shit, this autumn. What's going to happen now? Oh my God. There's going to be people queuing up outside. Type 2 diabetes diagnoses through the roof in Belfast. This is an unbelievable layer cake. You can get these in all shapes and sizes from Doogie's. You can get cakes made into like shapes and numbers or into other shapes, and they'll put them on big platters and all and decorate around it for you. You can get pictures put on them. You can get them in all different makes. You can get most of these buns here made into cake sizes. So most of them you can get that chocolate French fancy, which I'm definitely having for breakfast. You can get that made into a cake. You can get the big jammy doogie made into a cake. I don't know if they do a cake size on that wagon wheel, but Frosty loves them, so we'll leave that for him. Anyway, go over to doogiesgoodies.com. You can order all the stuff there. Give them 48 hours notice if you want to pick something up or if you want it brought in. And you can also check out on there all the different shops where they're selling stuff now. I think there's like over 30 places they're selling in now as well. So definitely check that out. It's a great time. We love them. They love us. Doogie's Goodies. Today's episode also sponsored by the very best in male below the belt pube assassinry. We're talking about manscaped.com. This is where you go when you're having a wee day to yourself. We're going to get into this later, by the way, on a Patreon episode about all things shave related because we'll have a confession. But anyway, so if you go over to manscaped.com and you're buying stuff, I highly recommend the ball deodorant. Great product. It moisturizes. I highly recommend deodorizes, moisturizes, glamorizes. That's what I would write on the bottle if I was the marketing guy, but I'm not. But anyway, you go over there. I also highly recommend the Lawnmower 5.0. The performance package has a wee bit of everything. Gives you the different clippers and stuff you need. Listen, get over there. It's great. Manscaped.com. Use the code NOBLASTERS20. That's the word, NOBLASTERS20. All one word, NOBLASTERS20 for 20% off and free shipping. Listen, it's coming into the autumn, but that's no excuse. This is a good time to brush the leaves up, trim that bush, get it done. And we'll see you over there. We won't, because I'm not watching you, what you do on the internet. But anyway, listen, whatever you were doing, no pubes. So it's all good. Would you like a bun before we get in?
Yeah, let's have a bun.
Today's guest is London comedy legend. See that? Wee bit of LL there, wee bit of alliteration. Yeah. Laura Smyth. More else.
Woo!
So do you want a wee bun?
Of course.
Work away, have whatever you like.
Have you got a favourite?
See this?
Oh my God.
My favourite one, genuinely, is this. I'm trying to get them to change the name of that to the Kieran Bartlett.
Oh my God.
Because that's what people come in and order.
I'll touch that one now.
I'll have it here, mate. It's a great time.
It's
very light. They're actually surprisingly light, is what I would say.
Pretty much like lose weight eating them. Like,
yeah. What is that wee one? Is that a wee cookie type one?
I mean, that's barely.
I'm gonna try and behave for now, and then I'm gonna take that with me later.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm doing. It's a good time, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Made cheapest chips as well.
Really?
Yeah. Like sincerely. Do you know? I'll have a wee confession. We drove up to it the other day, like a week or two ago. It's about 10 days ago now, but we drove up, and they're doing at the weekend. They do these. They do like fresh cream Swiss rolls. It's worth the trip, Dan. You're shaking your head. If you could tolerate it, you would love it. It's unbelievable.
You can't have dairy.
It's gluten. Yeah, they haven't really cracked that, have they? They haven't really cracked the gluten-free bun market. When somebody does, they're going to be millionaires, but they haven't really. Do you know what always looks sad? The dairy-free stuff in Marks' and Spencer's always looks shit. So anyway, we met.
Yeah.
When was that? Is that 3 years ago? Is that 2021? Fuck. Early 21, no. January.
Late 2021, early 2022.
Early 22. Yeah. Wow.
So pushing for 2.5.
Yeah, it's mental. Yeah, that's right, because 21, everything was still totally fucking locked down. Yeah, so 22, where it was sort of still a wee bit. It was a wee bit lockdownish.
We were in a massive room, so we could all be far apart. So we were all waving away from each other. Fuck. There were still conditions for us to be able to work in that place.
Yeah, you you had to wear masks in the wee coffee shop next door. So anyway, we haven't even said where we met. We were in a writer's room for Bad Education 2022. So do you know my memory of that? So I ended up gigging in that fucking place. So this was in Bush Hall in Shepherd's Bush in London, which is just like Bush Hall is just like this big old. It's like an old dance hall, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so the writing room was like in the big hall, but then I ended up gigging there. I was supposed to on my last tour. I was supposed to gig in that place, 21 Soho or something, and then there was all the stuff where it was like closing down or maybe.
Yeah, it's never, for such a good venue and where it is, it should be great. So I don't know what's going on there.
So I ended up in Bush Hall, and it was like half. I was half triggered, but also triggered with half good memories, but also half memories of like, I barely coped here for a week.
Why did you barely cope? Do you feel
London's fucking overwhelming for me. Like I don't like it.
It is a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when you're not from it, or if you're not from anywhere that's kind of like the hustle and bustle, even a wee bit. Because I'm not, and I'm not of that. I don't love it. You know, there's people like one of my mates lives there, and he just he loves all that. He's like, I'm like, but it takes ages to do everything. He's like, but there's always so much on, and I'm like, I hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I found it hard, like.
Yeah, you would do.
Yeah, I'll also staying in the Ibis.
Well, just start there.
Yeah, and do you know it's one of those rooms where they've built like a wee evil bathroom into a room where there's no room for it, and they just built it's like a wee.
They call it a wet room.
It's like an airport. Or like an airplane toilet.
Oh.
And I fucking hated it. The shower was so grim, and I had no like. I felt like I was Christy Moore in the '60s, like working on the roads in England. Like it was fucking grim. But in reality, I'm like, I'm just getting a wee coffee and going for a chat about comedy. So like I built everything up, obviously, in my brain about how fucking woe was me, like, and it was fucking. I found it very hard, but
I've been pulled up short for those sorts of things before, where it's like, come on, especially if I've had a real job, and it's like we're getting paid daily to just be here, But I think a creative room. This is going to sound so wanky to anyone that listens to this that actually does like tarmac roads or something. Yeah. It's quite vulnerable, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like you're there, and for me, it would also be weird. For me, you were the funniest person in the room.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
You will have to take it. But it was this sort of they're these noise fests, and I think maybe not necessarily the funniest people.
Oh yeah, because I don't. I won't compete. I won't compete. I'll just go. Here's what I think.
But I think that's why I took you because. I don't think anyone tuned into you because sometimes you just say things. I'm like,
I noticed this happened quite a lot where me and you and Nathan would be laughing at stuff, and everyone else is like, "What's wrong with you?" I know. And I'd be like, "This is good crack."
Really, So we obviously recognised each other as the real.
Yeah, the real deal.
The real deal in the room, and so and it is like that. There is a shorthand when someone makes you laugh.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like when you're gigging. It's very rare that you fall out with someone that's really made you laugh.
Yeah, that is true.
You're excited to see them in a green room again, even if it's been years or months. You're just like, oh, you pick up where you left off, or you're chuffed when they've got a new bit that's working.
So like, I remember, I specifically remember there was a day when we were there. I think it must have been day 2 or 3, and the most awkward moment. So I was basically going between. I would walk from the Ibis to that
over the greens.
I'd walk there to Bush Hall, and then I would walk slightly back. I would walk hardly any distance back and go to that wee coffee place that sells like really shit records, like really it's all like old. It's not even like old trance or anything. It's like old like all these bootlegs of like indie bands you've never heard of from like the late 90s, and then they have like a weird like acid jazz bit, and I was like, so anyway, I'd go there and get, because they do good coffee, I would go there and get a wee coffee, and then for lunch I was just going to Nando's, which is just up the street. But there was one of the days where Jack Whitehall was in Nando's, and he was just sitting there, and like I think it was like me and Nathan went in, and maybe one of the other writers was with us. I can't remember. It might have just been us two, and it was sort of this moment where it was like, do you want us to sit with you nearly? I know. Or are you sitting there? He was sort of incognito a wee bit. He had a hat on, a bit like a coat up, and it was a wee bit like, so are we sitting with you, or are we sitting over here? And then Freddie came in, And so we sort of sat at our table, and Freddie came in, he came over, and we sort of got our stuff to like, we're all gonna have lunch together, and he was just like, "He's all right." And it was like,
"Oh no, oh god,
yeah,
no.
I was doing a rep with my bag, and now I'm sitting back down. It was so fucking awkward.
I know. Yeah. There is a really. I've still got that awkwardness around him because there was a night because it was really by one of the Soho houses of White City, and again, I mean, I'm a Londoner, but I'll give this about London. I'm an East Londoner, so being in West London and going to like White City, Soho House, is not me either. Do you know what I mean? So, and then he was there, so I was like, "All right, Jack," and he looks at me like, fuck are you, who's been on my writing room for a couple of days, like, he was, what, he's staying here, like he couldn't process, I think he couldn't process, like, scrote me in there.
I definitely felt that feeling. There's a scene in like fucking 10 Things I Hate About You where like one of the nerds goes over to talk to the cool kid and he's just like, "You lost?" And you're like, "Oh, Jesus."
You lost, And some people are very, very good at that. Funny enough, I bumped into Freddie Cyborg up at Edinburgh. I feel like I've got coconut all over my face. And it was really warm. But I've kind of worked with him a few more times. And I've done tour support for Jack Whitehall. But I'm definitely, I definitely wouldn't be like, "All right, sit in the dressing room and have a beer," sort of thing. It's I don't know. I mean, and he's lovely and he's supportive, but you're not friends with everyone, are you? Do you know what I mean?
No, it's weird.
And actually, I mean, talk about privilege, but I don't know about you, but then I saw him most of the time at lunchtime was opening the laptop for a meeting, and then this, and then that,
no,
and then that. And he never stopped working.
That's true. Also,
he never stopped working.
Most days they were working through what was our lunchtime because they're like talking, they're sitting going,
"God, that Laura's a bitch."
We'll have to wade through this bullshit. But yeah, they were flat out in that wee room. There was also a day where, when I don't know if he's still working there, but Dave, the producer, while I was
He's
there,
just left. Yeah,
so he was like, he had asked me to chat to him at lunchtime about something. So I stayed to chat to him, but everyone else is like looking at me like, "When are you getting out of here?" And I'm like, he wants to see after us, Dave, because I can't take these eyes.
No.
I can't have it.
And there's a weird energy because, we're all up and coming, aren't we? And we're all like, I mean, it's the same energy that's in Edinburgh. It's like, I was saying, like, you're at Pleasance Courtyard and, the people that have got stuff away, like Big Man on Campus, like,
the Pleasance,
Jamie Demetriou or
the Pleasance Courtyard.
Like,
the first night I was in the Pleasance Courtyard was about, about 5 years ago, and I was just standing there, just watching it all, and I was like, This isn't my bag. Like, I will never flit. I don't have the body for it.
Yeah.
I can't. You can't be a social butterfly when you're more of a hedgehog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Scoot.
I know, just saying, fucking.
Shoot me. One second. That's the real hedgehog.
What was I gonna say? Soho House though. Talk to me about it because I have theories.
Oh, go on.
We were talking about this the other night, right?
I'm a member. All right. I feel like.
Are you actually?
I feel like I've stayed in from London. All right, I'll justify that. I've stayed here from London, and this is gonna be like everyone that listens to this podcast is probably like, this is just in chat. This is just.
Fuck it, no.
No. All right, good.
Fuck it, it's all good.
I'm a member because I've got free membership from doing gigs.
Right. Okay.
So I think I've got a couple of years free membership.
Gigs for them or just gigs in London?
Yeah, for them,
Right.
and I played Soho House Festival, which is just a £300 for the day festival.
Right.
I mean, it's just insane. But go on.
I'm all about it, right? Because there's a couple of people. So my agent's a member, and this other writer that is he's from here, but he lives in London. He's very cool. He's James Bond. Like he dresses like James Bond.
Who is he? He's just a writer.
Steve Bailey. Yeah. So
Steve Bailey.
Yeah.
No, there's another cool. Stephen Bailey, but yeah.
He's
what does he write? Who is he?
So he wrote on Deutschland 83, 86, 89.
Nice.
He did Riviera, and he was on the bill back in the day in the 90s and all, right? So,
and who's your agent? Are you with
Matt Harvey? WME.
Okay, nice.
So so they were when I was over last year, they both had meetings with me there, and I'm just sort of sitting there being like,
I belong here.
I could absolutely wank it up and enjoy this. On one of the nights, I went for dinner and it was Steve on one of the nights, and it was fucking unbelievable. And I kind of like the I enjoy the membership vibe. Chloe's like, it's a cult. You're something wrong with you. You're in some sort of weird cabal now, and I'm like, and I'm all about it. Yeah. I'll be in it forever. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna try and open the the Belfast chapter of Soho House. This is what I'm going to do.
You
heard it here first. Some people right now are going, what the fuck is Soho House?
Jamie Dornan.
It's just me and Dornan. It's just me and Dornan.
I'll be here all the time.
We'll let Shane in occasionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like...
that'd be good crack though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm just like... Because I think if you're involved in like the opening of a what do you call it? Like a branch or a chapter? I don't know what they call it. But like, I hope it's a chapter. I really want it to be called that. But if you're involved in that, like, it's fucking, it's like you're fucking made for life. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, who I got my membership
I just don't think anybody would join it here, but anyway.
Well, the thing is, I agree with you. And that's exactly my entry into it, having enough sort of meetings or lunches with my agent or other people. And you just get that little bit of treatment and care. And it's nice. Nice. Having membership, when you're running about in Soho or running about in town or you're in Shoreditch and you go, oh, I'll just stop at Shoreditch House or Soho House. It is nice.
It's nice. Here.
It's nice. You're
lovely.
taken care of. I've had bad service once in one in Chiswick. No shade. You know, it's just nice. It's just nice.
I like when there's a certain level of celebrity that I've seen in it that I love. Yeah. That's like they were famous ages ago. Yeah. Like Brian Ferry came into it one day.
I mean that.
And he came in, he was like, you all know me.
Yeah.
Still the same OG.
Yeah.
No one knows you. Like, I know you because like I'm a knob
Boosh.
and like you were probably on fucking Crosswits or something back in the day. But like I'm like, so he came in and then this wasn't in Soho House, but there was a day I had a meeting over there, and the person I was having a meeting with was like, I guess, and I'm going, what? And Felicity Kendall was like sitting there, and I'm like, this is a gag. This is like somebody, like she was famous forever ago, and she's still going, like it was, I don't know, like fucking.
But that's quite exciting. I
Kamala Harris or something.
But I also, like, I was having a meeting with someone, and I was sort of like, they were like, oh, my meeting's just run over, so I'll come down. And their meeting had run over with Sheridan Smith.
Oh,
so she sort of walked out, I was like,
yeah.
You know, but that you've now nailed one of the problems with it, and probably why your missus don't like it as well. There's an element sometimes, it's certainly at the Groucho as well, also a member, sorry, but similar thing. But of if I was sitting here with you and it's like the drifting off over your shoulder,
the wee thing
is, and similar to Edinburgh, maybe Pleasance Courtyard. Is there someone more important I could be talking to behind your back?
That the whole thing?
And that's when, I mean, I went up for 2 nights, timed it to be up there at Industry Week. I make no bones about it. I didn't want to be there for a month. I had a few days staying in Leith. Perfect. Kids loving it. Had as much industry as I could pack into one room on the Thursday night, similar on Friday, and we just nailed it. Like, as in, we're not going to get them to come to Hackney on a Friday night or Kent or whatever. So tick, did everything I did everything it meant to achieve. Whatever. Yeah. But on the Thursday, I only did 2 shows. I was shot off to do late and live at wherever it is, Assembly Rooms, whatever it was, on a mixed bill, and came back. So I had to sort of like, thanks, execs. Yeah. Gonna do this, come back. By the time I got back, my husband's sitting there drinking with mates, all of the BBC, all that crew there. You know, you're like, I just want to go and sit with them. That's all I want to do. When do we have a night out? Yeah. And I haven't seen his mates for it. And I couldn't.
I know what you mean.
On a sort of absolute visceral level, it weren't in me to go, I know. What am I doing for that?
But I think the show's more important, though. Doing the show is more important because, like, all that chat after, it's balls.
And we've all had the chat.
Yeah, the chat.
How many times have had the chat?
What are you up to?
Yeah.
The thing that I just did.
I'm waiting for your feedback on my script.
They are that I just did. Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was an hour ago.
Yeah.
That's what I'm up to.
Yeah, I'm touring.
Yeah.
But also, it's really hard when you're like, yeah.
So here, let's talk a wee bit about stand up and all. So how did you get into that, and what was the kind of yeah.
Well, I always wanted to do it. Weren't brave enough. I think you're from a big funny family as well. You know. And so just always wanted to obsess, but never got brave enough. And I only admitted it to my husband when I met him. And he would say to people, oh, Laura's a teacher and a stand-up. He'd just say it.
Yeah.
You know, and I go, can't say that, I'm not. And then for a wedding gift, he bought me a day's writing course, which was lovely, and I loved it. And the main thing, you know, I had a couple of kids and full-time teaching, and you know what life's like. It was with Logan Murray, and there was other writers there. Some people were just there for the day's writing course because they're getting their Edinburgh show ready, or they were doing this.
Yeah.
And it was just being in a room where you go, Like when I first started, I was, a single mum and in temporary accommodation and studying. And then when I became an English teacher, like after my English degree, what I loved was I was sitting with other people with English degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if you're talking about EastEnders or, I don't know.
Yeah, you have something in common with them.
There's a context and a kind of reference point down. And it just made me so excited. And I think I'd got to a point where then when I was with comedians, even in that, I was like, oh, you're all idiots.
Yeah. They all have like, there's like a shared, experience. Even like you weren't there for it. I sort of feel that way sometimes in like we were in Lavery's last week in the green room. Crack was unbelievable, and you're just like, we're all kind of like, we all eat like there's just that kind of, it's like a context is a good word. It's like a shared context of just like everybody has had a similar moment where they've gone, I could probably do this.
Well, there's that. There's the stepping over into the bravery. So of like, they've overcome something to make that transition as well. Yeah. But also, they're a little weirdo.
Yeah.
And I know.
Yeah, because it's a very strange. It's not. I don't think it's not like a lot of other types of performance. No. It's not like acting, and it's not like music.
For me, I think you either are or you like. I always quote Rasheen Conant. He said it to me, name drop, but she said, "It's not a career choice, it's a diagnosis." And that for me says it. It's like everyone's their own type of weirdo. And maybe you're not like me, but I'll watch someone who's brilliant and go, yeah, I should do fake Irish rebel songs. You know what I mean? Like, that should, Or you watch it and you go, no. You always have to come back to yourself and go, no, I'm not that guy. Yeah, no. I can only be my idiot. But when you're in that room and it's like, you're all just, even if it's half a foot, you're half a foot out of the real world. Like what you just said. At Pleasance College, you're the one going, look at them. There's a little bit of that you're not fully in the human race. You're just looking at them. And that's what we've all got. Whether you're an introvert or a bubble blower or whatever you are.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
you're just
I think like, I always remember getting like discouraged but also encouraged by different people. So the first person I ever said I wanted to do comedy to was like, yeah, I mean, I think you're funny, but you're not that funny. You're not like funny like a comedian. And I was like, right, I'll just fucking eat all these paracetamol in. And then then it was a few months later, I was at a comedy night with mates, and some guy was having a fucking rough gig, like, I was in the Empire, and so like he was like an English comedian who'd come over. I don't know that they do as much of it now, but they used to do it where it was like, if you were in like certain agencies or whatever, the Empire was kind of on like a wee circuit you might do, like, and so he came over and he had a fucking real, like, it was just a stink of a gig, like, and I like everyone was just like, and one of my mates was like, here, you're fucking funnier than that guy.
Yeah, that's and
I was like,
do you do it with novels though? You know, when you ever read such a good novel, you're like, well, I'm never gonna write a novel. Then you read something, you go, I could do that.
I do that with books. I went to a book launch years ago, about 10 or 12 years ago, and it was the guy Jeffrey Deaver, the guy that did like The Bone Collector, and it was like one of his. It was like another. I think it might have been another Lincoln Rhyme book or whatever, and I went to it, and he was like, he seemed really smart, but really like unremarkable, if you know what I mean. Just like.
Oh, you just
and he was just like a nerdy guy.
Like Wizard of Oz, just some dude behind the curtain.
Exactly right. And I went, this cunt, like, I was like, right. But then, like, you would read like, I would read like Don Winslow, or you read like fucking, I don't know, like the Heat 2, the Meg Gardner and Michael Mann book, and go, well, I'm probably not gonna write that. But like, fuck, I can do. Yeah, I can Deaver it, like, you know what I mean.
But that's what's nice about stand up, because the difference. It's like night, but the difference between doing it and not doing it. The first gig I ever did, I mean, I signed up to the course, and then I did the first time I ever did, and it's like, I mean, it took a week to go, but some other open micer, who to me was a god because they'd done 6 gigs, an absolute god, went, like, see you on the circuit. Like, to quote my 9-year-old daughter, if I had a tail, I would have wagged it. Do you know what I mean? It was like, whoa, like, see, I can... It's like those weird moments sometimes of being, my head exploded, my heart exploded, my vagina exploded. I was just like, wow.
It's massive when, like, especially then when it is somebody who's, like, successful says something to you. I mean, like, even now when some of the other guys will say, like, oh, that bit Like I did like I was doing all new stuff last week at that gig, which is like, so I haven't been gigging as much because I'm unwell, and then so I haven't been like testing as much material as I would want for these shows that are coming up.
You haven't snuck it into the middle of a Saturday night set
so like I'm at the minute I am doing full like here's 20 minutes, 18 of which
is this anything?
Could be shit, right? And so like I was doing that last week at Lavery's, and it actually went well. And as I was walking off, Shane just goes, that bit just cracked. All the comedians were sort of sitting at the back, and he went, that cracked all us up, and I was just like.
That's
like a wee peacock just walking around, you know, just
it's
like,
oh,
that's great. Yeah.
And especially like, so Thursday night at in Edinburgh, and I knew I had industry and all Edinburgh Heights.
Where were you playing, by the way?
Pleasance one, so 300.
Okay. Yeah.
And because I've had a sold out tour, so to me I was like, I barely got to half four on both nights, but you'd spoil yourself thinking that's the standard. It don't have to be sort of thing. But I clocked Brennan Reese in there, a comedian. Finn Taylor was in there. Tez was in there with his wife. And then all of a sudden I realised all I couldn't help... I only gave a fuck if them three were laughing.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Cause watching Finn Taylor bent double, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about. That's it. And it was a rough... You know, I felt like I worked... One of those gigs that everyone says was great, but you worked for it.
Yeah.
Where the other night, as soon as I was in the wings, it just felt busy. You can feel the fizz, can't you? You're like... And I was already, fuck Edinburgh, fuck these cunts, fuck everyone.
That is my attitude. Like I did it all last year and was just like, never again.
Oh, I bumped into you last year. I just sort of drunken 48-hour ramble last year.
And it's just me just walking. I remember bumping into you and I was just like, Smith. just like I was just like, fuck this. Like I was it was funny this year. I was talking to William. He was over doing the full
show, but it's like a vortex.
I know it's like when if you're only doing a couple of days, you're gonna miss everything. But like there was a great moment when he was about. It's weird because when you're not there, you don't really notice the passage of time. No. But when you're there, it's like the big clock swinging over in Groundhog Day. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was texting being like, how are you getting on? Not really thinking that it was in the middle of week 3, which is when like you're on the phone at the Samaritans, like, and he was like, yeah, good, mate, good, but just like, oh fuck, man, you know it's week 3, like I can't fucking wait to get out of here, like, it's fucking hard, like, it's so hard.
It's a weird. I mean, I proper acted like, God, that first night was slightly rough, but the second night was amazing. What a roller coaster! Like fuck you, you're not even on the teacups yet. You ain't even started, bro.
See when you're in that. I found the transition between week 3 and week 4 to be like, and to be fair, I really like I must have had COVID or something. I was really not well, like, and I was just, in fact, it wasn't even COVID because they tested me for it, but I had basically something like that, and it was so shit, like, and the doctor was like, I went to the doctor's number and she was like, yeah, I mean, like. It's honey and lemon, like that's science hasn't moved past that, and I was just like, "Are you give me fucking morphine, right?"
If I was Mariah Carey about to sing, what's that injection she gets? That's what, you know,
fucking horse hormones or something.
Give me that.
I was like, "Give me some stem cells, I need it," right? So like, we went to the doctor, went and bought a load of honey and lemon, and like I just remember there was a couple of very morose days, like where I'm just sort of sitting there.
Wheel me to the window, Chloe. Let me see. I was
like a wee sick boy in a bath chair, and because Secret Garden. Just like fucking.
He's just arrived from India.
Wheel me out for a gig, like, and the gigs, mate. I would basically
How big
do
a
nothing.
room were you?
I was like 110, 108 or 110.
So
it was,
all day long you could feel that.
Yeah, well, it was like most nights were full. Like, I didn't really, so like it was the billiards room in the, what do you call it, in the TV or whatever, the fucking, what do you call them, Gilded Balloon, like, and I don't really.
You know when you hate something, you're like, fucking, it's like a stupid name, fucking Gilded Balloon in fucking Scotland.
Like, if it's the TV, put an extra E in it so people know that. Otherwise, everyone's gonna call it the Teviot, by the way. But anyway, so the I don't think it was a good mix of me and them as a venue, But like there was nights where there was a night where some guy working there, people are trying to get into my show and he's going, "There's no more shows, the show's over," and I'm standing there going, "I'm fucking gigging in there in 5 minutes. You can't. These people are coming to see me."
Yeah.
So I hated all that. Like, but like I could see myself, like this year I was meant to go do like a week.
Yeah.
Or like it was going to be like 5 days or something. And then I had to pull out of it just because I wasn't well. But like, I couldn't do the full month again. It'd be a fucking nightmare. Like, you know, plus I think like, I sometimes think when you're here, it's hard to like, it would be hard for me to imagine doing a room much bigger than that there.
No,
because it would just be, because I just go, I'm not really like flying around over there enough to be like doing it 300 or anything like that.
Trust me,
it's just going to be fucking empty if I do that. Like.
I would do a week's whip next year, and I had my work cut out for myself because I didn't plan it. So come end of April, I sort of said to my agent, maybe I'll just do 2 days in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Because basically 2 people slide into DMs and Instagram going, you come into Edinburgh, and you go, there's a demand. There's a big Laura Smyth audience, and now it's 2 DM slides. Do you know what I mean? It's like purely anecdotal evidence there, look. But don't you understand the people? I've got to give the people what they want. No one gave a fuck. But my justification's always been, well, I've got kids, they don't want to be, you know, comedy takes their mother away from them enough. Yeah. So I realised actually if I did a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock show, you know, at a decent time, whip for a week, they would love it. They'd be in the castle. They loved
it. Is class,
every
to be fair.
Part of
it's
it.
Very Harry Potter-esque.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
They were colouring in at Pleasance. They didn't even care about John Petrie. They just were colouring in. They didn't even fuck. Gotta keep it real, yeah.
Oh mate, yeah, it's great. The what do you call it? The we went to a couple of places that were cool, like outside of Edinburgh as well. Because we started like by like week 3, where we're like, we have to get out of
Take
this
me
town.
to the seaside.
Yeah, so we went to like a big old castle, and then we went to Rosslyn Chapel, the Templar church that's in what do you call it, in Da Vinci Code and all. It's like about 40 minutes outside Edinburgh. Unbelievable cafe beside it, by the way. Check that out. There's a wee dirties for you. And just it was fucking great. I bought a load of books on it and all. I'm sitting like by day, sitting going, is the Grail a person or is it a cup? And then at night I'm like, right, you can't fucking. Here's James Brown, fucking. You know, oh mate, fucking brutal. Like,
it's so funny.
It's such a weird wee mix of like different sides of my personality meeting in that town.
Yeah,
also. I'll never enjoy walking uphill. Like, I believe that even if I was fit, it would be shit.
No.
Like,
and how can you be uphill on the way there and on the way back?
I know, that melts me. You leave, you're uphill.
What in the MC Escher is going on in Edinburgh, man?
That the actual walk, there was mate. So when we did a day where we went to Edinburgh Castle and went around nearly all of it, and like I think we tapped out about 3/4 of the way through that military museum because it was very. I don't know if you've done it, but it's very well. The military museum inside Edinburgh Castle is very much like, and then we conquered this bunch of people, and it's like fucking stuff stolen from, you know.
Yeah.
Here's everything we took from India. Here's everything we took from Ireland. And it's just like a. And so I was
hey,
like,
I'm English. I love this shit.
Eventually,
I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm like, get to the bad bit.
Eventually, I'm standing there going, sort of want chips, right? And then like we went and saw the fucking. You have to queue up to see. I don't know what jewel it is. It's not obviously not the Crown Jewels, but like the Crown Jewels of Scotland, I think it's called. So we went and saw that shit, which was cool. But like that whole dander. So mate, this was the closest I've come to
ended it all.
To just fucking slide tackling Chloe,
just
like
lie
in the street,
down
just
like the Radiohead
2 feet,
video.
2 feet, right? So we like we jumped in a cab from where we were, and she was like, "So there's steps at like I don't know the
You're
name
like
of
a
any.
child that she's pre-prepared.
I know, right?
There'll be at 19 steps, Kieran.
There was a bit. Oh, this wasn't fucking 19, mate. This was. There was a bit where she went, there's a stairway here that takes you straight to the castle. And I went, right. And so it's like, it's in a street that has loads of bars. I don't know the name of it, but I would know it to see it. This is great for a podcast, right? Anyway, but we get dropped off in the middle of this fucking square. And she goes, look, there's the steps there. And I went, right, fine. And it's very warm and humid and a bit rainy and just stinking, right?
Or the bin strikes and all that.
Yeah, that's right. And so we start walking up it. And she goes, oh, do you know this is the steps that takes you to the steps that's right at that castle? And I'm like soaked with rain and sweat, just being like, is it like getting quite like a villain in something where I did think about slide tackling her. Like I was just like, this is brutal. And then we got up And then it is like another hole, like about another fucking 40, 50 steps.
Like Homer Simpson climbing a mountain.
It was fucking shite. And then it means that when you get up to the top, you're just like, your day is over. Like, I'm just covered in sweat, like, just fucking going. And taxis are just dropping people off right where you are. And I'm like, and this is why. I'm like, it was the worst.
Do you know what there is at the minute? What my kids, because we were staying with a friend's mother. He lives down in London. He's Scottish. He's an actor, lives in London. She's in Leith. So the start of the summer, she had her grandkids up that were similar age to my kids. And she said, well, yeah, we took them to the National Museum because there's a gaming, the history of gaming.
Oh, wow.
At the museum, right? And she says, Ennis described it as heaven. So then we're toddling off back into the centre, you know, to see some juggling or something. Yeah. And my boy's like, I want to go to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven. We're going to go to heaven. Anyway, so booked it for the next day. I went and watched a play, I want to say, or maybe did a podcast or whatever. But it's, my daughter was explaining it. She's like, no, it's not like, this is when this was invented. She went, Mum, it's about 300 different games from every era that you can just play. Wow. You know, like my husband's on Guitar Hero. They were like on everything. It's on for a while, but it was just like they were all like came out like that's the greatest thing we've ever been to ever. And it's a great museum. So there you go.
Me.
Maybe worth.
Where's this in London though?
In Edinburgh.
Oh, in Edinburgh. Right,
that's what they went to, the National Museum of Scotland.
Fuck, right, okay. No,
so maybe it's worth a little ferry trip.
I know, yeah. It would definitely be better than going up all them fucking steps. But we also found some good wee dirt holes over there for dirty food, by the way, which I've talked about a wee bit already. So Dan's like, did you? So what's your go-to in Edinburgh for a wee feed? Is there a go-to?
Well, it was sort of just keeping the kids going. I love a Scotch pie. I just want all those sorts of things. Like I hit a butcher's on the way home because I just needed the lawn sausage. I needed the square sausage. I needed black pudding because
they do good black pudding.
The black pudding's best. So we kind of so this is an impression of me in a Scottish butcher's. Not a clue what they're saying. Not a fucking clue.
Just fucking...
Yeah, not a clue what they're saying. What's that, £90? Fucking cheap, half the price. And he was just bantering with me and I was like... Spot on, yeah.
That's kind of what I do in situations where I'm called upon to be an alpha.
Oh, yeah.
You know, somebody goes to me the other day, I pull it up in my car, and some guy who I don't know just goes, "Hey, Kieran!" I went, "Hiya." And he goes, "I bet you that takes a lot of tank, doesn't it?" And I just went, "Absolutely, mate." I don't know what that means.
No.
I'm going, is that petrol? Is that the size of the car? I don't know what you're referring to. Ammunition.
Me?
It takes a lot of tank, don't it? I'm just like, and I find myself saying things back to them that are also...
Like, not of your vernacular, just like, who said that?
We coded messages. So just say, she fucking shorten your week so it does, doesn't it? What? And you're like...
Who said that?
I'm like, or like yesterday... I said to Chloe yesterday, I stopped into a place to buy logs and sticks for the fire, and I said when we were coming out of it, I goes to Chloe, that's like 4 times today I've had to be an alpha. And I was like, actually, let's make it 3 times, because if you're counting the amount of times you've been an alpha, it takes one off. Because I can't even remember what the other ones were. I had the alpha up a couple of times yesterday.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
I'm so bad at it as well.
My mate Luke, a good friend of my brother's, Luke, was on the phone, and it was something, you know, when you got to talk to like tradie, like about something. Yeah. And he went, "Oh, yeah, cheers a lot, mate." And he went, "Cheers a lot," like you said, "Cheers a lot, mate." That's what Alfred is. Cheers
a lot, mate. That's fucking great.
Cheers a lot, mate. I do it as well. Like if Uber Cockney, when you sort of Essex go like clear, like I'm a little bit more like urban little rap, but when you sort of like probably like, "No, damn, yeah," and you go like, "Anyway, mind how you go." Just say that. Or be lucky. I like be lucky.
I love cheers a lot, man.
Cheers,
it's so good.
That sums it up. That's what it is.
That's really funny.
That's the fake Alfred.
Yeah. So you're coming here to do the Limelight. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about
on Sunday, the 29th of September.
Man,
pretty soon. I have it on good authority that the good people of Belfast buy tickets last minute.
They do buy stuff late.
Okay, cool. Because there's 340 tickets to sell.
Also,
I can't even play it cool. Just buy them. Cheers a lot, mate.
Also, like, I'm having the same thing where I'm going, let's hope there's 2,000 people buying late.
Where are you playing?
The Opera House. I'm doing like a week in the Opera House.
A week in the Opera House. How many tickets? How many do you hold?
So it's 900 a show. I'm doing like 8 shows.
Okay, and where are you at on percentage-wise sales? Yeah. Okay, good.
I'm at hello, is that my mortgage broker?
Okay, good.
I'm at mortgage sales. I'm over my half, but
your
I'm
testes are on the table.
Yeah, I'm between half and 3/4.
Okay,
see if we can get the 80.
And when is that? Where?
End of September.
Fuck off. Okay, all right. You've made me relax now because I've just internalized.
People will buy it. Do you know when people will buy stuff? They'll buy stuff this weekend coming.
Payday.
Which we're doing this
Yeah.
End of August. That's when they'll buy stuff.
I thought it's just.
But you'll also get payday. People buying on the week of the show.
Okay, that's good. Can you do that, please? Because I thought you just might I was coming here and I know I'm English, but like I'm working class, and my husband's from Northern Ireland, and
he's from where?
He's from Lisburn.
No, I was going deeply political with her. I'm like, where's Northern Ireland? What's that?
What do you not say that? Are you go on? Why is that? Tell me what.
Oh, so some people. I'll just tell you.
Is this why people say Derry, Londonderry? People say both names.
It's all that sort of shit. Yeah. So like if you say Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
You're accepting
that it's divided from Ireland.
That it's not the north of Ireland. So Northern Ireland
is that
or as Aaron Butler would say,
colonially weird shit.
Or as Aaron Butler, a comedian, would say, if you say Northern Ireland, you probably have a job. So
I don't even know enough to know if that's fun.
It is
why
funny.
That's funny.
Well,
I like saying if someone's got a north of an accent like yours.
Yeah.
And they say where they're from, and they're from Belfast, say. Yeah. And I always say, are you a goodie or a baddie? And then everyone leaves it. It's quite funny,
it's good.
Because
you haven't even said anything.
I don't mean nothing.
That's what's good, yeah. That's the best. I like that's the best type of joke. But with this, it's like when you're saying everything but not saying anything. Yeah. It's the best type. But like, so I'm just going to explain.
Go on, talk to me. Right, just quick history of why my surname has a Y, basically.
So Northern Ireland is probably an all right term to use.
Northern Ireland.
Republicans and nationalists, some of them would say you should say north of Ireland.
Okay,
and that you should say Ireland.
And so all right, let's do it in colours because pretend I'm thick.
Well,
if you wore green,
if you were wearing a nice deep green like this,
yeah.
You might say north of Ireland or the north.
And if I had an orange,
if you were wearing an orange t-shirt,
you
would say Northern Ireland.
I would say Northern Ireland. Yeah. Okay.
And you might even say Northern Ireland, like Ireland, like
Ireland.
There's an Englishness in the way we say Ireland. You don't want to lean too hard into the R because the R makes it Irish.
Ooh.
These are all my theories, by the way. Dan's sitting there just watching our listenership go like that. But anyway,
I used to work in a Catholic school, and there was a lot of Irish. Catholics from Belfast.
Yeah.
And my maiden name is Taylor, and I was having a cigarette with Fidelma Boyd. All right. And Fidelma Boyd, who is this big, she said, oh, are you taking your husband's name? I said, I'm taking my husband's name. And I said, what will it be? I said, Smith. I said, with a Y. And I said, is that a Northern Irish thing? I said, because again, I don't know. And she went, Protestant.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
If you could spit out a 3-syllable word, she did it. Like that.
It is probably. But it's one of those things where, I mean, who gives a fuck? But like, I'm joking. Like, I don't care if you say Northern Ireland.
I don't.
I don't care.
Right,
okay. Here's what I would say.
Here's what
you can wear green or orange, and most people don't care.
I want to say is what will sell me the most tickets.
I would say
I'll go on a march.
You're gigging in Limelight in Belfast.
I'm gigging Limelight in Belfast.
Don't engage.
And my husband is from Lisburn.
Yeah.
And he's not Portuguese, which a lot of my family thought they were gonna.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I was sitting there going. No. Portuguese people. Yeah.
So they when they found out where he was from, they said you don't look Portuguese.
Oh my god. I live out there. I live near there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I lived in Lisburn for a long time as well. Dan loves it. Dan lives there. The heart of the Super Value franchise.
Made famous by the Fall, though.
Oh, yeah. Dornan. He's a good guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's
cool. Like,
but you know, I say you watch something like the Fall, it does make your role play at home a bit weird, doesn't it? Just do the accent. Put me in the boot.
Do the accent, put me in the boot. Great.
Sorry.
So what's the show? What can people expect at the Limelight?
It's called Living My Best Life, which is obviously it was meant to be like a joke about the hashtag Living My Best Life and everyone on, so it's just everything, isn't it? It's like, but it's just fun. It's just good jokes. It's about, I don't know, social media, good jokes, social media, mental health, just good everyday stuff. Good stand-up.
Are you bringing? Are you doing anywhere else in Ireland? Are you doing Dublin?
I am doing Dublin.
Right. And are you bringing tour support or are you hiring locals?
There is a local that slid into my DMs. Well, she's not Irish though. She's married to an Irish fella, Eleanor Murphy. I want to say no. I don't know. I think she's from Manchester. She's in Manchester and she lives in Dublin, I believe.
Oh, right, okay.
Teresa Livingston, I think.
Oh, yeah,
she's Teresa Livingston is supporting me in Belfast.
Yeah, she's very good.
And I felt
musical.
Bad. Yes, but I felt bad. It's a weird thing. Are you having support?
In the Opera House?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm doing a slightly longer show, so I'm bringing it in half, and it's very theatrical. And there's a lot of musical theatre.
Hang on, I think your alpha count went really
I know, yeah.
It's very
theatrical.
You're gonna have to do
Cheers
so
a
many.
Lot, guys.
Cheers a lot, mates. Good night.
Yeah.
So. I find it weird because I love Teresa Livingston. So it's a little bit like, am I insulting you? But I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, it's not an insult. If somebody was coming from London and they asked me to fucking do their gig, I would do it.
I'm explaining why I didn't ask you. But
no.
Yeah.
I think she's definitely a better fit.
Yeah, of course.
No, but Teresa's very good. Look, I saw Teresa. Fuck me, there was one night we were in Pug Uglies doing a gig. That's just ages ago, to be fair. And this was around the time, Dan, when I had eaten a massive bowl of shit in this place. Not long. I think it was around that time, definitely. So I did a gig in Pug Uglies. It's famously the worst gig I've ever done in my life. But it's amazing how quickly, if you have the wrong attitude going on, how quickly you can just go in a room full of people, just shoot yourself down. It was fucking so bad. And but Teresa fucking absolutely murdered in there.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So like,
she's so funny.
Yeah, she was fucking great. Like, I mean, I think that might be the last time I gig. Where it was fucking years ago, to be fair. But like, she fucking murdered. Like, it was so like, it was one of those gigs. You know when you just see somebody having a fucking screamer and you're like, oh, and you're sort of like, this is great. I'm happy for them, but there is also a bit in the back of your head going, I would love to be murdering this hard at anything right now.
But also, it's when someone murders like that. And they can't even say, when they try to say it to you in the room, no, they were weird tonight.
I know, yeah.
It was if there was something funny in the room tonight. You're like, no, you know it weren't.
William does that. William's a wee dick. William will have... William's the sort of guy, he could strike a fucking free kick in the top corner, World Cup final, and go, wasn't a great game though. And you just be like, will you fuck up? I've seen him murder so hard. He absolutely killed it. So he did the Ulster Hall last year. And he fucking killed about as hard as anybody I've ever seen in there. Because it's actually a fucking weird room for comedy. Like, it's so tall and long that the sound kind of just goes... and just dies up the top. But he fucking killed and he came off and was like, didn't love that. And I'm like, mate, get out of here. Like,
I know, but there is that thing, isn't there? Like, I always say, like, when I feel like I've killed is when... You know, when there's just, you're surfing, basically, there's a something in the room, you've tapped into it in some sort of
weird way,
supernatural way, and then you're surfing it, and then you've got it higher, and then you don't even know what you're saying, and you could watch that gig back and go, cool.
Yeah.
And there's something where something else takes over. That's when you go, you've killed. And those are rare things. So, but equally, but it is, I'm not...
No, I know what you mean.
But it is weird that you can come off and go, most
times I'm sort of like, that was not shit. And, that is good enough. If you know what I mean. Like, that was good. Like, so there's like shit, acceptable gig.
Yeah.
And then really great gig. Yeah. And most times I'm on that line between acceptable and very good. Yeah. And that's where I like it to be. Yeah. When it's down here, I'm like, fucking, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me until I've done one that's right up there. Because So like in Edinburgh, most of them were pretty good. I did one or two where I was just like, oh fucking, like it wasn't even that it was like, it's not dying, it's not bombing, it's just a bit shit, and a bit like the crowd are just a bit like more like, Just laughing and smiling and not fucking...
Yeah. Every gag, you're sort of convincing them all over again.
Yeah. I definitely did a few like that. And I did a couple. I was running new shit at a comp a lot. So they had a comp on that was like... The comp had already started when my show was finishing.
Yeah.
So I would wrap up and sort of go around the corner to this comp most nights. And I was doing a lot of new shit then for last year's big show. And fuck me, like, that was... A couple of those nights were... fucking rough, like, and some people would like not be like enjoying the kind of harsh songs and stuff I was doing, and they're just looking at you like you're a fucking knob, you know what I mean? You're just standing there going, I know. It's class, isn't it? Here,
nowhere to hide.
Please put £3 into that bucket.
Oh God, don't. Do you know, like, the first night I had this real super duper sparkly like showbiz dress, but I thought, it would feel so exposing not killing in this dress.
Yeah.
You know when it's like, this is wearing me. Yeah. And then my husband was like, you look great, you look amazing. And then he left, and I was with another comedian, Will Robbins, and I was like, I got to get changed. You know what I mean? Like, turning the corner. But it was just like, I just knew I had to feel...
I know what you mean, but it's weird though, because it's so different for me. But
I think a guitar and a song... You got nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Plus, once you've started it,
that's what I mean. My sparkly dress is my only way I can relate to the guitar and the I'm committing to this.
Yeah. Because you have to, like, because it's like
to get through a 3-minute song that's not banging.
Yeah. So well, see, this is why most songs I do are like a minute and a half, because if I say shit, I can cope with it for a minute. I can't cope for. Like, there's only one song of mine, and it was one of the first ones I ever wrote, is like an actual song length, and it normally does well, but occasionally it's very rude, to be fair, and some people are just like, they've tapped out in the first 2 lines, and you just gotta fucking suck that up. But it's weird, because clothes are something I don't really ever, like, obviously, I don't think about it, but because I'm just like, Adidas bottoms t-shirt, we're there. I'm ready.
I hate that about...
You know? Well, it's definitely a thing, though, that, it's definitely a thing, I think, that most female comedians think about more, and loads of dudes do it now as well. Or they buy stuff. I know loads of comedians who buy stuff to wear to gig in, and I'm going, you're fucking crazy. Like,
I know, but you know what?
Because I would just... But maybe I'm crazy. Because I'm like a fucking homeless guy.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I was with about a half hour to spare. Did a festival on Sunday. You know what it's like getting your accreditation and finding your way into a festival and all that. And Desiree Birch was there, and it was just like us staring into our phones, getting a face on while metal comedians just like sweet, and getting on. And I think for me especially, I've done gigs in jeans and a t-shirt before, right? And I think because the way I talk and the way I am, and when I'm nervous, I'm a little bit more draw out, and it's a nervous thing. I don't get laughs because I actually think Vittorio Angeloni said it to me. It's the first. I know when it was. It was May 17th, the first gig back after lockdown was allowed or something. Whenever it was. And he went, you look like you're going to beat him up. Like, but I was like, really? I was just nervous. I was stalking the thing. And I've noticed there's some things where if I don't have the glam...
Yeah.
I do look like I might fight you.
Well, see, that was something that I used to try to counteract the mean... So my act used to be a lot more mean-spirited than it is now. Like, it used to be very much like, I'm here to do this gig you've put in, but fuck you anyway. And
it's my vibe.
But it was a natural vibe for me more than like something I really thought about. It wasn't even like fuck you. It was like I'm gonna say what I want. Fuck you was the thing. And so like I definitely think more now about what an audience might like, and you know I want them to be happy. Whereas I didn't think of that ever until like I was like literally about 10 years into stand up. I didn't care.
How long have you been going?
I've been doing it for 14 years now.
Yeah.
And so like for maybe like the first 10, and I had a couple I'll do it for a while and I take a break and then I'll come back. But like I remember but like there was a phase where I used to like wear like onesies on stage to counteract. I would go on in like DM boots and like a onesie, and I had 3 different onesies that I could choose from. So one of them was like I looked like a big packet of refreshers. It was all the stripes. And then I had one that was leopard print, and then I had one that was just like the leopard print one was atrocious. I looked like fucking Mandy Dingle, and the other one was I think it was just like a fucking like a blue onesie or something that I think I only wore it once, but it was like fucking like I was doing that thinking this'll take the edge off a bit for people.
Like George does
I would sort of like walk on and people would be laughing already.
Yeah.
And so like it worked for a bit, and then I was just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And then it's weird though, because I was saying there, like some people think about clothes, or there's comedians who just like show up, don't care about anything, and they just sort of show up, and they've, there's no like they don't have to bring anything except their face, Whereas like I go like I'm always there with sound. I'm always I have to do a sound check. I have to fucking. And I hate doing it because a sound check for a comedy gig, it's not actual. No. It's not like an actual music sound check. You're not taking anything. So it's very much just like you get there, unless it's like a big show. Yeah. I'll just get there and be like, just fucking, there's the guitar, there's the lead. Fucking make sure it works.
Yeah.
And that's it. But like, that fucking does my head in. I hate having the. Yeah. I need it for my act, but it was weird because like I was doing new stuff. So I did a whip show last Sunday, which was pretty good, and I'm actually closer to my show being ready than I thought, which is good because there's always that. There's every chance this is gonna eat shit. Yeah. And if 80% of your whip show eats shit, then you're in trouble. But it was more like 80% of it was fine. Yeah. 20% of it's kind of shit. And then I have other stuff that we didn't have ready, like musical stuff that is it's written but not finished being like orchestrated and programmed and all. And then so I was doing 10 the week before the whip show in the same place as the whip show, hottest room ever, upstairs room at the American Bar in Belfast. And I was talking to one of the other comedians, and I said to him, I was like, I had my guitar with me, but it was out in the car, and the room is so small that I don't even need to plug in. Do you know what I mean? I was like, and he goes, you not got the guitar now? And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna just like do like talking. And he goes, what, like stand up? And I was like, it's Johnny Bow. I was like, you motherfucker. I was like, so and as I'm standing there, I'm watching the MCs, and I'm like, I just bitched out. I just went, no, that's it, I'm away. Went downstairs, got the guitar. I was like, fuck this, can't do it. I can't do it to myself. I was like, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try some new musical shit instead of this just spoken stuff. It feels weird for me not having it.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Safe to, yeah.
It is. It's like what you're used to though. Like last year. I'm doing this show this Friday in Derry where it's my last show of the last hour. And I was meant to do it in like May, but I wasn't well, so I've moved it to now. And there's a bit in that. There's 2 bits in it where I set the guitar down, and it's like just like regular stand up for like. There's this 15-minute bit. There's this 15-minute bit, and both those things, it's fine, and I know it works, and like this stuff's fine. But it feels fucking weird not having it on because I'm just used to standing. Yeah. I normally don't move. Like it's just me on spotlight. I'm just fucking on. So it's very hard once you're used to that to like set it down, and you're like walking around and your left arm's just going. You're like, what's that for? Because normally I'm just muting the guitar with it, so I'm normally standing like that for.
Yeah.
So it's weird whenever you start changing shit like that.
Yeah, there's so many factors, isn't there?
Yeah, because like...
I used to always wear trainers. I love wearing a trainer, like a skirt. I mean, I even did like my Live at the Apollo with trainers on. Now, if I ain't got a stamp, I want a little gunk, gunk, gunk.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I know what you mean, yeah. You want to hear it? Yeah.
I don't know, it's funny all the factors. Isn't it? It's just in your head. I mean, like if I hang about tonight, I haven't confirmed and do a gig here tonight and get a later thing, I thought, I've got no makeup with me. I've sort of... and all of a sudden, can I do a gig without red lipsticks? Like properly a factor in my head. There's a big chemist though near Lovers. Oh, really?
Yeah. And isn't there a big one around in Botanic? Am I making that up?
But I'm sure...
Oh, no, it's not in Botanic. It's before you get to Lovers. It's on Donegal.
Thanks.
Donegal? No. Dublin Road. No. Sorry, I'm live dementia here. What?
But I just think I like that though. Like I think to myself, worst comes to worst. Yeah. You would rock up and you'd do it without guitar, without makeup,
no, definitely,
without
you can do it. Nice it's just feeling. It's your comfort though. Yeah. And I think the more you've been gigging in your comfort, and the more it's like, because I wouldn't say like. Dan's gonna do a face probably. I don't think I'm a diva, Dan. All right, like I think I'm low maintenance at a gig.
Yeah.
Like I just come in, do my thing, and like I never ask for shit. Or people sometimes assume that I'm, they're like, oh, we'll have all this, and I'm like, I'm not like that.
King is good.
Yeah.
So where's that come from? The Goblin King.
Shane from Shane,
really?
fucking around. Yeah, that started where like, so we were joking one day about like me having like a, that I was gonna be like a private investigator with like a team of goblins helping me, and it just ran from that. But it's like,
I love it.
It's become like, some people think that, or some people think that like my personality on stage is like my personality off stage, and it's not like, so it's like right. So we went to see Blink-182 the other night, right? So mate, what a time. It was like fucking 2002. It was great, right? And so like it was me, Chloe, Dan, and Fosty and Georgia were there as well. Team No Blasters, great times, right? And but me and Chloe and Dan aren't cool as Georgia and Fosty, and they went standing and we went in the seats around the side. Yeah. So we were there, and some guy tweeted me after. So a couple of people, when we were leaving, a couple of people were like, can I get a photo or some stand for photos? And people were sort of going like, oh, I didn't want to say to you during the show. And I'm like, dude, fucking definitely don't say to me during the show, because that's Blink-182. They've played here once in the last fucking I don't know how many years. And definitely, when was the last time Tom DeLonge was there? Like, so I was like, and like it happened at Sting as well, where I'm going, that's fucking Sting. Like in Belfast, this never happens. Don't fucking. Like, I'm like, don't fucking talk to me, right? Yeah. So like we're did a bit of that, and then some guy tweeted me after going, oh, here I got I was at Blink-182. I saw Kieran Bartlett there. Did you have a good night, mate? And I went, yes, it was a fucking great show, but I'm coming to terms with the fact I'm 37 and I like to sit down at gigs sometimes. I guess this is growing up. Top Blink-182 banter, right? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I got a photo with you. I was in the row in front of you. And I went, all right, that must have been that guy that stopped me on the way out. Mm. But he didn't. It was another guy in that row had just popped me and Chloe, and we're standing like this at the middle of Blink-182, literally like this. It's the weirdest photo of the two of us. He must have like taken
the pitchfork picture. Like
yeah, right. Right. At a moment where they must have been talking, or like...
Oh, that was my listening face.
You know what I mean? And the two of us are just sitting there like that. Right? And I'm like, that is the weirdest fucking photo I've ever seen of us. But I can't remember why I started telling a story. I can't remember. What were we talking about?
Personality on stage and off stage.
Yes, so people think I'm a grumpy bastard off stage. A lot of people say, like, oh, saw you... people message sometimes and go, saw you in the shop, didn't want to go over, you looked really annoyed. And I'm like, no, that's my my rest. And
if I'm not smiling, I look like I want to hurt someone. And my kids even worry. I'm like, but I'm usually just always thinking.
Yeah, and like, to be fair, if you see me in a shop and I look grumpy, it's probably because I don't have any fucking quavers. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing to do with you. Like,
knobs have gone up again.
Yeah. Oh man, it's fucking nothing. Yeah.
I am getting more and more aware. Look, I'm far from famous, but
Oh, it's getting there. Like,
it feels like it's getting there in certain places, and then
Jonathan Arsenal.
Oh, I know.
That was great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was really good.
Cheers. But all those sorts of things are mad. Yeah, I'll get Anthony Joshua's number. Calm down. Calm down, everyone. I know Lulu, but Michael Palin did a video for my mother-in-law. She loves him. Right, but it was good. But it's definitely. I've got walking down the street. I've got the sort of. Where do I know you from?
Yeah.
I've got that. But also, I think I've got definitely a little bit more aware of like how I leave a hotel room. Do you know what I mean? Like
you make that sound like before. You're just like, it's just shit on the floor.
I don't shit in hotel rooms too much. I wipe my ass. No, but things like or like tipping, or you know what I mean. I want my hairdresser to be like, no, she's right, 20% tip out. You know what I mean? I'm aware.
I saw a weird hotel story yesterday. The singer from Sum 41. Do you know these bands?
I've heard of Blink-182.
Yeah.
What's their big song?
All the Small Things.
Oh yeah.
So like, Sum 41 singer. So Linkin Park are doing a thing where they were doing a countdown. It's ending tonight, where they're gonna unveil, I think, a new tour with a new singer, because Chester Bennington is dead, which is very sad. But so they're doing like a new tour with a new singer, and loads of people started speculating that it was going to be the singer from Sum 41 because he had gigged with them at something a year or two ago, and it was okay. But I was going
sort of like McFly busted, sort of.
It's slightly cooler, vaguely cooler. But thank you for fucking ruining my day, right? And so like,
nice, sweet regards.
So yeah, so cheers a lot. And so the this was happening, and then
he can't talk anymore.
I know. I'm like you fucking ruined me. You've ruined me. So we went on to this is what we do. We went on to that guy's Instagram, and he had done a post saying, I have my own band. I'm not joining. I'm not joining fucking Linkin Park. I'm not joining whoever else he was being speculated about. I have my own band, and then when we were on there, he has a book out. And we clicked on a video, like a promo he's doing for his book, and he's like, "Hey guys, I have my book out, right? Whatever." And he's slightly less confident, not to be fair, but and he was like,
"Bitches, you ain't gonna believe this."
Hey TikTok, right? And he was just like, he said about how he goes, "This is a story that didn't make it into the book," and he tells the story, and he has video footage of it as well, of him and the first drummer in Sum 41 when they were quite young. He was like, "Yeah, we used to play a lot of pranks on each other because like." We had nothing else to do, and we're doing like 30-minute sets in these towns. It's our first time in this town. And he tells a story about how the singer or the drummer took a shit in like a plastic bag, and the bag is like, like one of those see-through ones you would get in a fruit shop.
Yeah.
One of them, he took a shit in it, and he's like holding it up at him, and they're laughing, and it's kind of weird. And then he goes out into the hall of the hotel and throws it at the wall, and the bag sticks to the wall. And he's like, we went out. We did a gig, or we went out for lunch, came back, it was still there. Went out for dinner, came back, it was still there. Went out, did the gig, came back, it was still there. But then the next morning we come out and there's like a guy from the hotel cleaning it, just being like, for fuck's sake, this is brutal. And he's like, so yeah, that didn't make it into the book, guys. And I'm like, why are you telling this story? He's like, that's the kind of fun stuff.
No.
What was it he said? Like, that's just, he didn't say victimless crime, but he was like, that's the kind of harmless fun we were getting into. And I'm like,
yeah, Jose didn't find it fun.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
I'm like, why are you telling this story online for millions of people?
Yeah.
Going like, it made me think he's a fucking knob. Well, here, listen.
29th.
Thanks for coming in. 29th of September. Laura's playing in the Limelight. Tracy Livingston support. It's going to be great. Tickets at shine.net. Tickets at Ticketmaster. The link is in the description below. And go see Laura. It's going to be a great gig, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh no.